Today we are diving into culture with Sebastian.
Hello.
So Sebastian, can you tell us the differences and similarities between East Asian and European culture?
Yeah. So it's very hard to just kind of blanket both of them into what is very specific about Europe and Asia, because even within Europe we're very different as well, right? And within Asia we're very different as well, the different countries. But if I was to generalize, I would say that in Asia people is much more collective in the culture. And so what I mean by a collective culture is that people are kind of more dependent and come together with each other. So when I stay, for example, in Indonesia, in my street, everybody knows everybody in that street, and everybody is somehow engaged, and you will talk to everybody in that street, and it's kind of not a requirement, but it's kind of culturally rude if you don't spend and sit time with people. Whereas when growing up and living in the UK, you can live next to the same guy for 20 years and just nod your head. The next thing that you're kind of looking at is culturally understanding each other, right? Of course we can do that, and I think it's a combination of having some theoretical knowledge and understanding about what are the different dimensions of culture, and we can lean on various different theories from that, from writers that we know about, who like Hofstede, who talks about the different cultural dimension theories, Bennett's scale of intercultural communication. You know, there are all these kind of theories that we can fall upon, and then for us as individuals, it's about how can we be open to difference, and if we're confronted with you know, something that's very different from our reality, how do we manage that? And so when we do the projects in Indonesia, I enjoy it a lot, because generally the culture is very different from the participants, what they know and they understand, and they're immersed in all of these colours and sounds in a way that's quite in your face, and so that can be a little bit suffocating for some people, or that can be something that you can just fall into and just and fall in love with that, right? And I think if we structure these programs well, we provide a channel for people to understand exactly what the differences are and why they're different, because what we're looking at is the same thing, right? You know, how you eat your food, right? We all eat food wherever we're from, but how we eat food might be...
Yeah, it's a matter of perception, right?
It's a matter of perception, and so what we see is the same thing, but what we perceive might be different. So if I start eating with my hands, is that rude, or is that the norm?
Or is that tradition? Yeah.
You know, and how do we accept that? And for us to develop our cultural competency and stretch out towards that other culture, how far can we go? And how far is comfortable? And if we stretch too far, do we end up letting go of our own culture? And then what does that mean? So, and I think the programs like this help us to really contextualize all this, because if we just travel to another place, there's no, it's like visiting the city but without a tour guide. I'm looking at everything, but I don't really know and understand it because it doesn't have any context, and that person will give me some context. So the next time I'm in the city, I go, oh, that's because of this, and that's because of this, and that's because of this. So I understand a bit more. So a long answer to your question, but
thank you for your answer and for being with us. It was very satisfying, actually, and it was kind of a call for me, for all of us, to think about prejudices, stereotypes, and why we should participate to Erasmus Plus projects. So thank you for watching us, and stay tuned, because we create and we share.
Bye.